Hello, my friends. I have a quick reaction to the Woman's Prize for Fiction long list. I've looked at a couple of reaction videos already. Simon Savage did one, and Scott and Nell of Gunpowder, Fiction and Plot. And I discovered I have lots of thoughts, so here goes. I have read 5 of these books, and out of those 5, my top pick is The Sentence by Louise Erdrich. Tookie is just such a great, memorable character, and I like the bookstore setting. There's a lot that is made in the promotion of this book, where they talk about the ghost at the bookstore, which is actually really quite a minor element. But it's about identity and a sense of community, and I really loved how it all comes together in that book. And Louise Erdrich, her prose just is fantastic. So there's another book that I really, really liked is the final revival of Opal and Nev by Donnie Walton. And again, it's the character Opal. Oh, Opal is such a great, she's an Afro-punk singer-songwriter, and the story is told from multiple points of view. It's been compared to Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Reid Jenkins, and I think the final revival of Opal and Nev is so much better. Yes, it's better. There's the Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki. So that's the only Canadian title on the list. Ruth Ozeki is American-Canadian. And again, the prose. This one's more fable-like. It has a point of view. Some of the story is told from the point of view of a book. And actually, that's one thing I noticed about 3 of the books in this long list have really unusual narrator viewpoint. So there's the book in this one. Another one has got a fig tree as a narrator, and then there's one that has a herd of cows as a chorus narrator. And that also is really appealing to me, all 3 of those aspects. I like unusual points of view, I guess. So the question in the Book of Form and Emptiness is about what makes us want so much. And I like how this question is explored with a balance between whimsy and seriousness. And, you know, it's about social justice and being different and accepting that difference, and our emotional attachment to objects. Then there's Great Circle by Maggie Stiefvater. This one didn't work as well for me. I thought it was okay. I liked the dual timelines. I liked the way that it had just such a great sweep of history, and these snippets of women in aviation history, but somehow it didn't come together in any kind of special standout way for me. I mean, I thought the book was fine. I'm surprised to see it on these lists, so I feel like it's just not quite my kind of book. And I feel the same way about Island of the Missing Trees, also on the list by Elif Shafak. And I like the story. This is the one that's got a fig tree as one of the narrators. And I don't object to that, but there's just something about Elif Shafak's prose style that just doesn't quite work for me. The ones that I'm most looking forward to, so all the rest on this list I have not read, and there are 3 that I'm quite excited about, and this is brand new for me. I haven't heard of them at all before. And one of them is Salt Lick by Lulu Addison. So this is the one that's got, here's my cat. This is the one that's got the, come on, go on your perch. Yeah. This one has the viewpoint of a herd of feral cows. So it is set in the near future, a climate change kind of story, and there's a rural adventure. Hardly anybody is living out in the country anymore. It's set in England. Now this one, I have no idea about its availability to me. I'll have to see. But just the little bit that I've read about it, it brought to mind a book that I just finished reading, nonfiction, called Silent Earth. The subtitle is Averting the Insect Apocalypse. And that's nonfiction by Dave Goulson. And Dave Goulson has one chapter where he imagines being in the future, maybe 20, 30, 40 years in the future, I can't remember, when the absence of, or the extinction of so many insects will really affect our ability to grow food and have access to food. Anyway, I'm all for that topic. There's Sorrow and Bliss. That one's by Meg Mason, and it's just the way that it's described, with its combination of funny and sad. It makes me think it might be something like Miriam Toews' writing, and I just love her style. Yeah, I'm in the mood for a combination of funny and sad. And then that one, I think, just came out on March 1st, so I should be able to get a hold of that one. And then Flamingo by Rachel Elliott. This one, it's not coming out till November of 2022, but the fact that it's about homelessness, and it is described as a celebration of kindness, and that draws me in. In our world today, let's celebrate that. Yes. I have more mixed feelings about the rest of the books on the list. So there's Build Your House Around My Body, and that one is by Violet Coopersmith. And the part that really interests me is that it's about 2 young Vietnamese women who go missing about 25 years apart. Okay, that's a hook for me. But it's described as a fever dream of a novel, and it's also described as a revenge story. And both of those things make me less interested. We'll see. If you've read that one, and you've been watching my videos and you have some kind of idea about my tastes, I would love to hear what you think, and whether I should pick that one up or not. Cat needs love. So there's Bread the Devil Need. That's a great title. That one's by Lisa Allen Agostini. And I hadn't heard of her before. I looked her up. She's a stand-up comedian. Okay, that's a hook for me. And this story's either set in Trinidad, or the author's from Trinidad. Anything to do with Trinidad and Tobago is a hook for me. The fact that it's about intimate partner abuse gives me pause. So, I don't know. There's something about, the vibe of this seems I'm thinking of how the one-armed sister sweeps her house, and so that makes me more inclined to pick up Bread the Devil Need. So I guess I'm more on the yes than the no for this one. This One Sky Day, that's the UK title. It is called Papa Show in Canada and the US by Leni Ross. And I'm intrigued by this one. It's in a fantasy Caribbean setting, and it's described as wildly imaginative. The fact that it takes place over the course of one day is appealing to me. And what I know about it is that everybody in this world has got some kind of unique magical ability. That seems kind of cool. The fact that it is 471 pages long is kind of daunting, but I'm going to give it a try. I've requested this one from the library. Then there's Creatures of Passage. This one is by Morowa Yejede, and I'm intrigued that there's a haunted taxi car in it, and it's described as having flawed humans and reluctant ghosts. It's set in 1970s Washington. So yeah, I'm going to give that one a try too. That one is available through Hoopla at my library. That's a digital collection, and with Hoopla there's no waiting, because the libraries pay per download through that particular database. So that's cool too. You can get immediate gratification with this library borrowing, and I think I will give that one a try. Although I've got a whole bunch of other books that I'm going to read before then. I think I'm less likely to pick up Careless by Kirsty Capes. I mean, it's not coming out till August of 2022 anyway, but it's a young woman in foster care who has an unwanted pregnancy. And I think there's not enough about that premise to really grab me, but if you read this or know more about this, let me know. One thing about the way that the title appears on the cover with the word Careless split into two, initially I had trouble locating it in the Goodreads and in my library, just looking for the title. And I found that that's happening more and more with cover design, where in order to get the words really big, Firekeeper's Daughter is another one that's like that, where a one word is split into two, I guess, to make it more visually striking on the title. I have mixed feelings about that. I'm not really interested in Exhibitionist by Charlotte Mendelson, although I maybe could be swayed, because what might sway me, the father in this dysfunctional family is a famous artist, and I always like reading about art and artists. But the whole toxic family politics thing, it's not really grabbing me. There's some element of queer desire in there. That's a positive. I don't know. It's coming out in May 2022. Paper Palace by Miranda Cowley Heller. So that one, I often am not really grabbed by commercial fiction. although sometimes I'm surprised, pleasantly surprised, and that might happen in this case. But it seems like the central element has to do with adultery. That's an aspect of storyline that usually doesn't appeal to me, so I don't know. Through my library, I can get it through the Cloud Library Express titles. This is a collection of really, really popular titles that you can borrow for a week instead of the usual 3-week loan. So, I might give that one a try, but certainly less interested. And then the final one, and this is the one I'm least interested in, is Remote Sympathy. It is by Catherine Chidgey. And it's set next door to a concentration camp in Germany. And I guess it's about obliviousness to evil, and I feel like that just does not appeal to me at all. It's giving me vibes of the boy in the striped pajamas. If you want to convince me about this book, I'm open to that. It's also available through Hoopla, so I could give it a try, but at this point, I'm not even tempted to try it. So, let me know if you think it's worth giving a go. I mean, obviously the judges for the Women's Prize for Fiction think it's worth reading, but maybe it's just not for me. I don't know. So anyway, let me know what your reactions are to the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. I'd love to hear from you. Bye for now.